Good evening. Hi, everyone. All right, it's so good to see such a big crowd here this evening, and I see a ton of student athletes, so we will get quick into the action. It's Tuesday, April 5th, 2022. I'm here to welcome you to our interim board meeting for April. With that, let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now for a reading of the mission statement.
The mission of the School District of Springfield Township is to educate and develop all students as learners and citizens who are high achieving, resilient, responsible in a changing global community.
Thank you, Ms. Green. Let's do roll call.
Mr. Needleman.
Here.
Mr. DeFranco.
Here.
Dr. Etlin. Here. Mrs. Green. Here. Mrs. Hubley.
Here.
Mrs. Hughes. Mrs. Lipinski. Here. Dr. Taratuski. Here. Mr. Bedard.
Here. Just one announcement. The board at its discretion may videotape all or any portion of public board meetings subject to the limitations set forth in policy 006 meetings. Board meetings will be broadcast on Friday afternoon following the board meeting. We can head right into reports and information. Right over to you, Dr. Yannicone.
Thanks, Mr. Bedard. Welcome, everybody. It's nice to see so many of our students and families here tonight to celebrate. We're going to move on to the Spartan Spotlight in just a few minutes. First, let me just mute myself so I get rid of that. Okay, here we go. So we have a number of school happenings I'd like to share with the board. First of all, the Voices of Excellence held their annual showcase on April 1st at the high school. Over 500 people attended, raising over $3,000 for student scholarships, which are traditionally awarded at the end of the year. This Friday, Atlanta-based artist Reggie Laurent will visit our Enfield students virtually. He will be discussing his work with the students, and they will be then creating mini collages as a component of his presentation. We're really excited for that later this week. On Thursday, our students at Erdenheim and the middle school will be taking a practice PSSA in the morning. Not so exciting, unfortunately. This practice will, though, provide our students the opportunity to see the type of test questions they can expect later this month. And it will also allow our IT department the chance to see how online testing will work on a large scale. Several years ago, we switched to online testing for both for the Keystones, and this year we're adding all of the PSSA. So that's a big move for our IT department to have all those students testing at once online. Several weeks ago, last week, the Springfield Township Middle School Reading Olympics team earned a first place spot at the 2021-2022 MCIU Middle School Reading Olympics competition. This year's Reading Olympics title list included 25 books, which the middle school team read a collective 84 times over the course of the school year. That doesn't mean each student read them 84 times, maybe a total of 84 times. While they were pitted against teams from across the county, team members led by Captain Lily Martin in the 8th grade answered questions about the books. Their strong showing earned the team a blue ribbon and a victory over Wissahickon in round 1 and Our Lady of Mercy in round 2. Last evening, the Erdenheim students also participated in the MCIU Reading Olympics, and Dr. McLaurin received a beautiful email that praised our team following the event, how well they did, and how competitive our team was. It's not quite as competitive at the elementary level. There are no blue ribbons and such as there are at the middle school, but still our students performed really well from Erdenheim. Mr. Fuller and Mr. Payne welcomed their new colleague, Mrs. Karen Brady, on Monday. Mrs. Brady will be working with the school community as both an assistant principal and athletic director. The administrative team has been receiving and gathering feedback from families and students to improve school climate at the middle school. And they will be working with the staff and students to plan for the return of character counts activities, field trips, and spring social events following the spring break. Parents of 6th graders are also invited to attend a meeting with the administrative team on Wednesday, April 27th to review the results from a recent survey of our families, which is actually still underway. We're still collecting feedback from families, as well as a survey that was administered to our 6th grade students earlier today. In district happenings, the hiring season has begun in the Office of Human Resources, and we are actively looking to recruit new candidates for positions at each of our 4 schools. Interested candidates should go to our website and select Human Resources. That's a tab at the top there you can choose in order to complete an application. The district is working to recruit candidates in collaboration with the Montgomery County Recruitment Outreach Consortium, as well as the Montgomery County Diversity Fair and the Delaware Valley Consortium for Equity and Excellence Fair to broaden the scope of our pool of applicants. Tomorrow, the Association for Learning Environments in the Northeast region will convene at its annual conference on Capitol Hill. This event brings together school facility managers, architects, educators, school planners, engineers, maintenance, and industry experts to share new conversations in the need for adapting our learning environments to new levels of mindfulness, equality, inclusion, and community. The 2022 conference theme, Blossoming Minds, a time for renewal and optimism, fosters conversations on the innovative approach educators and planners are taking in transforming the learning experience for future generations of children, and how the built environment and existing learning spaces adapt to the developing minds of our students. Dr. Van Voren, alongside our architectural firm Schrader Group, will present a session on how a community and school district work together to inspire the design of a new K-2 early learning center, Enfield Elementary School, as you know. They will also discuss how the process resulted in a school design that promotes critical thinking, student movement, collaboration, socialization, and communication through the principles of project-based learning for these very young and influential minds. As you may remember, Enfield received an Outstanding Project Award from American School and University Magazine in 2021. This project also earned an additional award for their cafeteria design in the Educational Interior Showcase portion. So we're very happy that Dr. Van Voren and the Schrader Group will be representing the district this week on Capitol Hill. Also at the end of the week, the Hall of Fame will take place this Friday at noon at the high school. The recipients include Albert Brown from the class of 1960, a scientific researcher, Clint and Rob Anderson from the classes of 1989 and 1992 from Anderson Iron Works, Kate Daly from the class of 2001, an arts and entertainment writer and editor, and Michael Schiffer, the class of 1968, a great year, the year I was born, an arts and entertainment writer and author. So we have 4 terrific recipients that we'll be recognizing. And I want to publicly thank Joe Ferraro, our high school athletic director, who has done a great job pulling together this program for Friday. The Finance Committee will meet at 8 a.m. on this Thursday, April 7th. Ms. Green will provide an overview of the preliminary budget as she is prepared for next year. I'm very grateful to her and her team and all of our administrators for working collaboratively this winter to bring forward a budget that is both responsible to our community's taxpayers as well as supportive of the needs of our district students and staff. Anyone from the community is welcome to attend. There's a link for the Finance Committee on the main page of our website. And again, that meeting will be at 8 a.m. this Thursday morning. The preliminary budget will be presented and discussed, and then hopefully next month we'll be able to bring that forward for a vote to the board. And finally, upcoming dates. We've got spring break coming in a few days next week. Everybody's looking forward to that. We have our next board meeting on April 19th. We have a property committee meeting coming to talk a little bit about some of our summer projects and give you an update on the Enfield Church Road site project on April 20th. And then we have kindergarten roundup coming for our families who are bringing us our next round of students. I think it's the class of 2034, maybe. That is April 20th to the 22nd. So we've got a lot coming up in the next few weeks. Looking forward to spring break for everybody. And I'm going to now turn us over to our spotlight and the reason so many of you are here tonight, and begin with Mr. Jason Payne, our middle school assistant principal and athletic director, who's going to talk a little bit about our 8th grade girls basketball.
Good evening. This time of year is especially for sports fans with the college basketball tournament is really exciting. And even if you're not a college basketball fan, people tend to get linked in and interested and caught up in the storylines that come with the college basketball tournament, the close finishes, the Cinderella stories. And I want to tell you, I went to our middle school basketball tournament and it was a very similar feeling. We all get seeded based off of our regular season record, and we had a challenging regular season, which made our path to winning a tournament championship one that was going to be quite a challenge. And the group that you see here to my left, they embraced that challenge. They were so much fun to watch, and they ran the table, winning the tournament. And I want to say congratulations. I want to say congratulations to the students. I want to say congratulations to our coach, Mrs. Laura Pinelli. They gave so many people in those gyms such a fun experience, including myself. You guys did a really wonderful job. So on behalf of all of us, I'd like to say congratulations. You are the 2022 Montgomery County Athletic Association Middle School 8th grade girls tournament champions. Stay right there. We're going to take your picture, and then I'm going to turn the microphone over to Dr. Rittenhouse from the high school. Congratulations.
And congratulations to the 8th grade team. Look forward to seeing you next year. Once again, good evening. It is my pleasure to turn the microphone over to Joe Ferraro, our athletic director. He's going to talk about our wonderful winter season this year. I'd like to thank him and Dave Giordano, who's back there. They've been here all afternoon, organizing the lobby, getting the night ready for this evening, and doing all the scheduling the buses, budgeting, uniforms, going to all the games. They've done a great job this year. So I want to turn it over to Joe.
Thanks, Dr. Ritt. So I just want to take an opportunity to congratulate all of our winter athletes, and not just those that are here today. We had another tremendous year for winter athletics in the face of many different challenges than a lot of our coaches are used to in years past. So I want to say congratulations to a whole, and then especially to the 4 teams that are here tonight. I'm going to let the coaches and the captains kind of take it over from here. First, our unified bocce team, if you guys want to come up, I know you guys have some things to say.
Unified Sports brings together students with or without disabilities to have some fun, develop friendships, and compete in a meaningful way. As the assistant coach of our Unified Bocce team, I was honored to be part of such an incredible experience. Though our team was not victorious during our local matches, a new spark ignited during our regional tournament. During regionals, half our team, affectionately known as Blue Thunder, competed and earned a 7th place medal. The other half of our team, the Steel Lightning, competed in game after game for nearly 4 hours, earning a 3rd place win overall. Coach Joblin and I and all the players were so excited, we started jumping up and down and hugging each other. It was the absolute highlight of the season, and it made all the practices worthwhile. I have the pleasure of working with many of these students again right now on the Unified Track team, and I look forward to working with them again next year in bocce. Here to tell you more about our wonderful bocce team are 2 of our team's captains, Phoebe Agnasnias I'm so sorry, and Ani Hovsepian.
Hello, thank you for having us. The 2021-2022 bocce season was so much fun. Our team consisted of two smaller competition teams. I was the captain of Steel Lightning with players Warren Sharp, Evan Fryman, Sarah Roebuck, Jossie Davis, Emily Briggs, Layla Afonsi, and Eddie Pratt.
And I was captain of Blue Thunder with EJ Hunter, Kenneth Farron-Smith, Ayla DiBattista, Katie Eckert, Rosalina Fittipaldi, Grace Koppel, and Damian Sorelli. This season was everything we expected and more. It was a season of learning, fun times, and meaningful friendships.
We had a variety of players this year, each with their own vision for how the season would unravel. Our older players joined because of their love for inclusivity and passion for the game. However, we had many new players this year who were excited for this mysterious game and looking for a new and fun adventure to take on with friends. We have compiled some of our players' favorite memories and would like to share them with you.
Our runs around school hallways, dodgeball games, and special guests were highlights of many. Many came into the season with no experience of bocce, but quickly became strong players. The non-judgmental and entertaining practices with dance parties and speed walking races made bocce a family.
And of course, we can't forget our amazing effort at regionals. After a season of tough losses, reaching regionals was a breath of fresh air. Our team placed 7th and 3rd. It was a great effort, and our players played the best they ever had.
We're so grateful to our coaches, Coach Dablon and Miss Kelly, for guiding us through this season.
And we're so excited for what next year's season will bring.
Another round of applause for our unified bocce team. Next up, we have our head coach, Naira Woods, who's here to present about our indoor track season this year.
Hello, how's everyone doing this evening? About to say, nobody want to talk back to me? So, hello, I'm Coach Naira Woods. I am the head winter track coach here at Springfield Township High School. I've been coaching here for 5 years now. I stand before you as the coach and the athlete. Yes, sorry, just playing. My days are over. I'm pouring into the young people now. This indoor season. First off, I want to say thank you guys for allowing us to be even honored and recognized on a platform like this. Very much appreciated. We're thankful for this indoor season because last year there was no season, so we didn't have any meets to run in. So this year was a little challenging, but we pressed and made it through. We had to get COVID tested every week just to make sure everybody was good to go. We had to do attestation forms in order for us to run at the college facilities that we competed at. So we managed to get through all of that. So I was proud to have 23 athletes come out to do winter track. I always get excited when young people want to do winter track. So hopefully next year we'll have more numbers. But out of 23 individuals, I had 2 female athletes who couldn't be with me on tonight. They did have a meet not too long ago. So, but I'm going to represent for them. Out of the 23 athletes, I had 2 female athletes who qualified for the championship meet up at Lehigh University. It was a senior, Molly Hennigan, and junior, Julia Mcbride. Both of those ladies are pole vaulters on the team. And Molly ended up PRing on that night, clearing a height of 8'6", and Julia finished competing at a height of 11 feet. So yeah, clap it up. Then Julia Mcbride ended up qualifying for the state championship meet. This was her first time qualifying for indoor states. So she went out there. It was a great experience for her. She competed. She didn't jump as well as she would have liked to, but the experience, you couldn't take the experience away from her. Not only that, Julia Mcbride was was the first athlete on winter track to then qualify for the high school national meet. That's bigger than states. That was held up in Ocean Breeze, New York. And she still didn't jump as well as she had what she would like to have jumped. But again, the experience was unmatched, unknown. And I'm very proud of those two young ladies. Like I said, Julia will be coming back, but Molly is a senior. So thank you all again and enjoy the rest of your night.
Coach Woods really downplays it because winter track is a grueling season. There are no indoor facilities close by. This is late Friday nights traveling to college campuses all over the place, early Saturday morning. So I just want to give another thank you to Coach Woods and her efforts for this indoor track season. Next up, we're going to have a 2021-2022 District 1 Coach of the Year, Corey McCaslin. Come on up. Yeah, of course.
All right, as these guys are rolling up here, we're missing a bunch lacrosse game tonight and different things going on. We finished the season with about 30 young men and women on our team. And we really had a historic season this year. We finished the season, the dual meet season 18-5. We won the Suburban 1 Freedom Division undefeated in the league, and then won the league tournament. We finished first at the Chestnut Hill Invitational, second at the Martin Luther King Cougar Duels, second in the district. We had 12 of 13 weights earned all league recognition. We have 7 District 1 all academic wrestlers. And it was an amazing year. We also didn't have a season last year. And the resiliency shown by this group of kids was unlike anything I've seen in 20 plus years of coaching. Just an amazing year. We had 2 league champions, Roderick Porter, and Stoy Gradastanek, who could not make it tonight. We also had 2 district champions, Stoy Gradastanek and Owen Hussey. Owen, wave. We had 10 seniors on the team, which these wrestlers have been with us for 4 years and have really put in the time and the energy to make this the most memorable season I've had in 20 plus years of coaching. Proud of the group. You guys want to say anything? And I also just real quickly like to thank Coach Miller, Coach Whelan, Coach Carruthers. It's a lot of work. Wrestling is a lot of work. And having a coaching staff that makes it easy, makes it fun. We can all enjoy everything we're doing. Just an amazing job. Spartan Wrestlers.
Slide in as much as you can, guys. Coach McCaslin's not really lying when he says that this was a truly historic season. I think this is one of our first league champs in Coach McKez, 30 years almost? At least. So it truly is. It's a testament to Coach McCaslin and his efforts. Our wrestling roster has grown tremendously over the years. Year after year, I get comments from other ADs about, wow, I can't imagine how many wrestlers you guys have. And it truly is. It's all thanks to Corey. So I really do appreciate his efforts and everything he's done for our program. We have 2 more programs left. We're going to hit it with Coach Pilotello and the boys swim team.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to thank you for inviting us and sharing with you our excitement for the season. And Joe Ferrero has been incredibly supportive of the season, as was Dave Giordano, who was taking up the mantle for Joe while he was off paternity leave, which was no easy task. It was a fantastic job, so thank you. And just as a word for the student athletes, I'm a full-fledged 100% believer that to be an athlete in school is an incredible feat, because you have to keep your grades up, do well, because there is no room for failure or any type of poor grades. So they not only have to be good students, a lot of the athletes around you see are exceptional students. And that goes for all sports, because the amount of time and effort and energy that all of these athletes throughout the seasons have put in is incredible. We had a couple of victories this year. Swimming is like wrestling and track, where you start off with a large team and then you compete as a team. And then that team, our entire team of 16 athletes, 8 of which were freshmen, won the Suburban League Championship this year. So 16 members all participated and earning first place in our league. They consisted of senior Willem Conlon, who is not here tonight, Bennett Grothusen, one of our captains who is here, Michael Hood, who is not here this evening. Coda was not able to make it, is one of our juniors. Our sophomore class consisted of Jacob Christ, William Cross, Ryan McKelvey, and Sam Pugh. And then our 8 freshmen, a few of which are here, are Daniel Buckner, Michael Cooper, Johnny Gendron, Gavin Lake, Grayson Line, Ashton Odar, Ravi Padmanabhan, and Chase Paroli. So those 16 athletes brought home a first-time league championship to Springfield for forever. So that's fantastic. So congratulations for that, the entire team. And as I compared to the other sports, we then have qualifiers as a team that go beyond that. The next level of competition for the swimmers was the district championship, consisting of more than half of our team, Willem, Bennett, Michael, Jacob, William, Ryan, Sam, Johnny, Gavin, and Ashton were all part of the district team. That district team brought together so many different events with such a great level, earning a few first place medals for our relays, 4 individual first place finishes at the district championship out of 12 events. 2 of our athletes were in competition for each other for the swimmer of the meet. And Will Cross beat out Bennett Grothusen. So Will Cross was the swimmer of the meet with 2 golds. Bennett was runner-up with 2 golds as well. So they did a fantastic job. And that team won the district title, our 4th district title, but we haven't won that one in 11 years. So that was a fantastic victory against about 14 other schools. So another excellent part of the season. And lastly, part of our team that qualified to the final competition for us, which is the state competition, we have Bennett Grothusen, Will Cross, Gavin Lake, Sam Pugh is not here tonight, and Michael Hood is not here tonight. They were all part of the relay that won at the suburban level, the district level, going to the state level, and the individuals, and our diver. And if it wasn't for our divers on both the boys and the girls side, if it wasn't for our diving program, neither of our teams would have won any of the competitions. So diving and swimming are linked hand in hand, and diving is number 6 of the 12 events. So with the combination of swimming and diving, we were able to win all of those championships from the suburban and district titles. So those 5 athletes were all part of the 4th place overall state finishes of 61 scoring teams at the state level. There's more schools, AA schools out there, but 61 teams were up at states that scored points, and we were number 4 in that group. And I have one other proud announcement that of our athletes, we have one that's going to be continuing in college swimming at RIT, and that will be Bennett Grothusen, our senior. So I just want to say again, thank you very much, because if it wasn't for the continued support of the school board, the athletic directors, that would make our programs all around that much harder to continue doing. And so thank you very much for all of your support, and boys, thank you very much for making me extremely proud of your success.
All right. And last but certainly not least is our girls swimming and diving program led by head coach Bud Reiner.
Good evening, everybody. Unfortunately, this is about 1/3 of our team. Everybody else is involved in another sport. But I will get right to it. In the league, we were 4-0. So which we have to reach out to other schools to swim to keep the competition going. Overall, we were 7-2. What do we have? 22. I think we have 22 swimmers, 4 divers. So we have 26 on the girls' side. And like Nick said, if it wasn't for the diving points, we wouldn't not have gotten as far as we did. So I will introduce those that aren't here and those that are here. I will start with my seniors, Sky Buckner. Hey, hey. Captain Sarah Cooper. Captain Tierney Hennigan, not here. Abrielle Phelps. Captain Hallie Schwartzman, which is on her way to Israel right now. Juniors, Amika Gradastanik. Amy Pischke girl. Taylor Schultz, softball. Sophomores, Anna Clark, Nora Conlon, Grace Duncheski, Kate Matthews, Iona Stum. I got a lot. Tess Talbot, freshman. Josie Clark, Eloise De Palma, Delaney Foster, Olivia Igu, Michaela Kelly, Bella Navo, Natalie Ritter, Ashley Schultz, Ella Seslow, Jessica Shapley, and Hayden Smith. That is our regular team. That team, those names that I just read off are responsible for one of those trophies with the ribbons on it. They won the Suburban 1 League championships this year. And I'm very happy for them for doing that, because I've been here almost 28 years or so, and I don't see too many trophies come my way. So I am so very happy. You know, I'm ecstatic, actually, you know. So I will say, and then of course it was explained to you, in order to get to the district, you have to make the cut. So I will read off the names of the ones that went to districts, which would be Captain Sarah Cooper, Tierney, Abrielle, Hallie. Oh, no, Hallie didn't go to, I'm sorry. Mika, Amy, Taylor, Nora, Grace Duncheski, Tess Talbot, Delaney Foster, Olivia Igo, Natalie Ritter, and Ashley Schultz. They were my district swimmers this year. You add all the points up together from swimming and the outstanding, incredible job that they did at districts, and we brought another trophy home, which made me even more ecstatic because last year was my very first trophy at districts. This year's my second. You know, is there a hat trick? We'll see. You know, and from there we had 5 of our girls go to states, and that is Mika, Amy, Iggy, Lainey, Grace. Did I forget anybody? No. So I had 5 girls go. Seating was not the best for us in the relays, but unbeknownst, they dug a little deeper. They did what they do best, and that is swim, compete. And they came out in 9th place in the runner-up. What is it? Consolation rounds. Excuse me. I don't normally do this. Consolation rounds, which is an incredible feat, which means they won, and they also got all-state award for beating a medal winner's time. So that was a pretty good. I'm happy. I couldn't be happier, and that's my team.
So while Mr. Ferraro is taking that last picture, I just want to sort of wrap up for the board. Obviously, we had a very successful winter season in interscholastic athletics, and I'd like to echo something that Coach Pilotello said a few minutes ago. I think one of the reasons, thank you, ladies. One of the reasons why it's important that we acknowledge our student athletes on a regular basis is that they are going above and beyond. And in the last 2 years of the pandemic, to have this kind of success with everything you had to persevere through, I appreciate everything the coaches did, you know, to make sure that our student athletes had a great experience no matter what was going on. COVID spikes, new rules changing every week. You guys hung in there. You made sure they got everything they needed. And I also want to recognize, as Mr. Ferraro said, not only the teams who are here, but the rest of the student athletes, because it really has been a challenging year to persevere. And so congratulations to everyone, and thank you for your leadership. Thank you very much. And that concludes my report.
That was truly incredible. And I also want to echo the thanks to the administrators, the coaches, these incredible students. And then I also want to call out the parents who also persevered over the last couple of years to make sure that they kept those kids focused, energized, and got them into the locker rooms and arenas with you coaches. So thank you very much. Really, really great job. Congratulations. Right, so moving on, we're going to hit public comments on agenda items. Did we have any signups in the room?
Mr. Bernard, I see no one signed up in the room, and I don't see any hands online for agenda items.
All right, we'll just give everybody one more minute. Any comments on agenda items? If you're online and have a comment, just go ahead and use the hand raise feature. Seeing no hands, we will head into the business of the evening. Our first category of motions is under Human Resources, Personnel, and HR contracts. Recommended action. The Board of School Directors approves the following personnel as presented in the attachment: certified personnel, support personnel, temporary personnel, extended school year program personnel, extra pay for extra responsibilities 21-22, extra pay for extra responsibilities 22-23, and conference workshop attendance. Is there a motion? And a second. Any comments or questions on personnel?
Mr. Needleman.
Aye.
Mr. DeFranco.
Aye.
Dr. Etlin. Mrs. Green. Mrs. Hubley.
Aye.
Mrs. Stepinski. Dr. Taratuski. Mr. Bedard.
Aye. Moving briskly into academic affairs. The Thespian Troupe 1154 International Thespian Festival. Recommended action, the Board of School Directors approves an overnight trip for Thespian Troupe 1154 to Bloomington, Indiana, to attend the 2022 International Thespian Festival at the University of Indiana from June 20th through June 26th, 2022. Is there a motion? And a second. Any comments or questions? Ms. Green?
Mr. Needleman.
Aye.
Mr. DeFranco.
Aye.
Dr. Etlin. Mrs. Green. Mrs. Hubley.
Aye.
Mrs. Stepinski. Dr. Taratuski. Mr. Bedard.
Aye. Continuing in academic affairs on the category of our students being overachievers, we have a Youth and Government State Conference up for approval. Recommended action, the Board of School Directors approves the high school youth and government to attend the Youth and Government Statement Conference in Harrisburg from April 21st through April 24th, 2022. Is there a motion? And a second. Any comments or questions?
Mr. Needleman.
Aye.
Mr. DeFranco.
Aye.
Dr. Etlin. Mrs. Green. Mrs. Hubley.
Aye.
Mrs. Stepinski. Dr. Taratuski. Mr. Bedard.
Aye. Moving into finance, we have Plan Con Part K. The recommended action here is the Board of School Directors approves and authorizes the submission of Plan Con Part K project refinancing, general obligation bonds, series of 2022. Is there a motion? And I've heard a second in there, but we'll take a second. Any comments or questions on the submission?
Mr. Needleman.
Aye.
Mr. DeFranco.
Aye.
Dr. Etlin. Mrs. Green. Mrs. Hubley.
Aye.
Mrs. Stepinski. Dr. Taratuski. Mr. Bedard.
Aye. All right, moving into the policy category. Our first topic is policy 123, interscholastic activities. The Board of School Directors approves the second reading of policy 123, interscholastic activities. Is there a motion?
Motion.
In a second. Any comments or questions? I do have one. If we could just reiterate for the record what the process we're going through with all the policy reviews, since we have several policies up for vote tonight.
Absolutely. So we are in the midst of a full policy review. We are consulting with the Pennsylvania School Boards Association. They are reviewing every policy on our books, as well as recommending new policies that have been drafted through PSBA in recent years. This is the first time since 2012 that we've gone through a comprehensive review. We are moving our way through the 200s here, you'll see. And then next month, we will be bringing you the 300 level policies. So as we go, we consult with not only PSBA and their recommendations, but also our local solicitor to make sure that all of our policies are compliant with state and federal law, as well as best practices.
Excellent. Ms. Green.
Mr. Needleman.
Aye.
Mr. DeFranco.
Aye.
Dr. Etlin. Mrs. Green. Mrs. Hubley.
Aye.
Mrs. Stepinski. Dr. Taratuski. Mr. Bedard.
Aye. Our next policy is policy 131, religion in schools. The board of School Directors approves the repeal of policy 131, religion in schools. Is there a motion? Motion. And a second?
Second.
Any comments or questions?
I just have one comment to Dr. Yannicone to further your point. The repeal of policy 131 does not mean that the school district of Springfield Township is trying to eliminate religious practice in school or in anybody's home or anything like that, right? It just means we're trying to consolidate, and make the policy section a little bit cleaner. And our support for religious practices is expressed elsewhere. Am I right?
That's correct. So the recommendation from PSBA, as well as from our solicitors, that policy 131 is redundant. We had spoken at previous meetings about policies that are redundant. So we have 5 other policies that speak to religious tolerance and inclusion of religion in the schools as an educational subject of study, as well as protections against religious discrimination in our schools and in our programs. And so PSBA recommended the deletion of this policy, the repeal, due to that redundancy.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions?
Mr. Needleman.
Aye.
Mr. DeFranco.
Aye.
Dr. Etlin. Mrs. Green. Mrs. Hubley. Mrs. Stupinski. Dr. Taratusky. Mr. Bedard.
Aye. And as we go through each of these policies, if everyone could prepare a question to try and stump Dr. Yannick. Lost my spot. Here we go. Policy 150, Title 1. Title I. Title 1 or Title I? Title 1. Title 1. Comparability of services. Recommended action. The Board of School Directors approves the first reading of Policy 150, Title 1, Comparability of Services. Is there a motion? And a second. Any comments or questions? Very good.
Mr. Needleman.
Aye.
Mr. DeFranco.
Aye.
Dr. Etlin. Mrs. Green. Mrs. Hubley. Mrs. Stupinski. Dr. Taratusky. Mr. Bedard.
Aye. Next, we have a grouping of 200 policies. The Board of School Directors approves the second reading of the following 200 policies. 202, eligibility of non-resident students. 204, attendance. 209.2, diabetes management, which is a new policy. Policy 210, medications. Policy 216, student records. Policy 236, student assistance program. 251, homeless students. 253, transgender and gender nonconforming youth. And policy 255, educational stability for children in foster care, which is also a new policy. Is there a motion? And a second. Any comments or questions on the 200 policies? Very good, Ms. Green.
Mr. Needleman.
Aye.
Mr. DeFranco.
Aye.
Dr. Etlin. Mrs. Green. Mrs. Hubley. Mrs. Slapinski. Dr. Taratusky. Mr. Bedard.
Aye. All right, moving on to our next section under property, R&S fence. Recommended action. The Board of School Directors approves R&S fence to replace the middle school fence in the amount of $23,925 under CoStars number 014-198. Is there a motion? Motion. And a second.
Second.
Any comments or questions on the replacement of the fence? Very good, Ms. Green.
Mr. Needleman.
Aye.
Mr. DeFranco.
Aye.
Dr. Etlin. Mrs. Green. Mrs. Hubley. Mrs. Slapinski. Dr. Taratusky. Mr. Bedard.
Aye. Our next category is board memberships for the Montgomery County Intermediate Unit Board of Directors. Recommended action. The Board of School Directors nominates Amy Hubley for a seat on the Montgomery County Intermediate Unit Board of Directors from July 1st, 2022 through June 30th, 2025. Is there a motion? And a second? Any comments or questions? A note of gratitude. Thank you, Ms. Hubley.
It is a commitment, I'm not gonna lie.
And we appreciate you taking that on. All right, we're good.
Mr. Needleman,
Very enthusiastic guy.
Mr. DeFranco,
Aye.
Dr. Edlin, Mrs. Green, Mrs. Hubley,
Aye.
Mrs. Lipinski, Dr. Taratuski, Mr. Bedard.
Aye. Next up is our 2022-2023 board meeting dates. The Board of School Directors approves the attached board meeting dates for the 2022-2023 school year. Is there a motion? And a second. Second. Very good. Any comments or questions on the board dates?
Mr. Needleman,
Aye.
Mr. DeFranco,
Aye.
Dr. Edlin, Mrs. Green, Mrs. Huber,
Aye.
Mrs. Lipinski, Dr. Taratuski, Mr. Bedard.
Aye. This brings us to public comments on non-agenda items. Any signups in the room?
I see no one has signed up to speak on non-agenda items in the room. I don't see any hands raised online either, but I want to give it a minute. Oh, I do see a hand raised, actually. Angelina Banks?
Yeah, and Angelina, just before you get started, excuse me, Ms. Banks, before you get started, I just want to reiterate the rules of engagement on public comment. So we reserve 30 minutes total, and any individual comment is limited to 3 minutes. And if you could just restate your name and where you live in the district, and we'll go from there. All right, thank you, Ms. Banks.
Hi, thanks for having me. Angelina Banks. I live in Winmore. My comment's actually on an agenda item, and I guess I missed the initial reading of the 200 policies. So I'm just going to kind of make this
Looks like she's
brief.
speaking. We can't hear her coming through the mic.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello?
Ms. Banks, we are having
Hello?
trouble hearing you.
Mm,
You could try and turn off your microphone and turn it back on. All right, Ms. Banks, we just promoted you to panelist. See if that works.
Okay, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello? No? Hello?
Yeah, Ms. Banks, we're going to move to Ms. Reeves and then try and come back to you. And then if that doesn't work, if you want to drop either something in the comment section, chat, excuse me, or obviously you can send an email and we can address it separately. All right, Ms. Reeves, let's go to you.
Can you hear me? Hello.
You seem to be having some trouble hearing Ms. Reeves.
Hello.
Appear to be having technical difficulties. Okay. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. Both of you, Ms. Reeves and Ms. Banks, we're gonna promote you into as panelists. If you could type in the chat, we can read aloud your comment. All right, we'll check again in the room here. All right, the team is working on the technical side of this in the background. You guys can put them back to regular status, or do you need the chat open to do that?
Welcome to Zoom. Enter your meeting ID followed by pound. Enter your participant. You have joined the meeting as an attendee and will be muted throughout the meeting. This meeting is being recorded.
Apologies again, guys, for some of the technical difficulties. We are working on a new idea to try and make this work.
Zoom. Enter your meeting ID followed by pound.
Ms. Reeves, I think we might have you.
Enter your participant.
Mary Ellen, is that you?
Join the meeting as an attendee and will be muted throughout the meeting. This meeting is being recorded.
Hello?
Ms. Reeves, are you there?
It is. Sorry. You know what? I will give my time up to Angelina Banks. She just needs to use the dial-in number.
All right, Ms. Reeves, can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you. Oh. Hold on.
Ms. Reeves, could you try again? We're going to try something else. If you could just speak once, we'll try to get the microphones here and see if that helps.
You guys can text.
Yeah, we can only do that if she set up as a panelist.
You know, I was actually trying to just let you know that the chat is disabled and we weren't able to type the questions in. And I believe Angelina was typing a question, so I was actually just trying to be of assistance. I dialed the number and still was not able to get in. I did forward that number onto her. So I'm just trying to assist you with the technical difficulties.
Ms. Reeves, I appreciate that. And I think I'm getting another phone call.
Oh, I think that's her calling.
All right, let me grab
Okay,
it. Thank you. Hi, this is Jeff Bedard. Ms. Banks?
Okay.
Hey, it's Jeff
Can you hear
Bedard.
me?
Yeah, this is an exciting adventure. Thank you for your patience.
Well, thank you for the time, Angelina Banks, Winmore. You know, just a general comment on one of the 200 policies. And I think it's for policy 253, more so on the privacy section. And, you know, while I was waiting to speak, I looked up on the PA Department of Health website, and I'm just going to read really what it says. It states that all health records established and maintained pursuant to the requirements of the school code shall be confidential, and their contents may be divulged only when necessary for the health of the child or at the request of a parent, guardian, or physician. I'm looking at this policy that allows students to shield really important life changes from their parents. And I'm just speaking out as a parent, as a member of the community, with a little bit of trepidation and worry that this policy seems to create yet another barrier between the student-parent relationship, and that the school acts as an arbiter or as an authority figure over the parent. Now, I do understand and I do recognize that when children are in this very fluid time in their lives, when they're making these decisions, sometimes they feel that they don't have the support from the parent. But I would just urge and issue some caution here that it's dangerous for the school to continue to establish themselves as an authority over or separate than the parent. There aren't any that I found in Pennsylvania right to privacy laws from minors between them and their parents. The only really thing that I've seen with minors and being able to do things without parental consent are some treatments at the age of 14 or above.
Ms. Banks,
So
1 minute.
we have this policy for all of our school children. At what point does this start to be detrimental to the relationships at home? School is a place of education and to learn arithmetic and history, and not to make spaces or lanes separate from the parental influence. So I just wanted to make a comment on that this is kind of really an interesting type of policy, and that the school should be careful instituting policies that create a barrier in the home relationship of their students and parents. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Banks. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
All right, well, I see no other hands raised. Let's
See no other hands raised.
All right. Well, that was an exciting adventure. That was a first in the COVID era of all the Zoom calls that we've done over the last 2+ years. So again, appreciation for the patience for everyone on the line. We do have some future meeting dates to announce. Our next regular board meeting will be Tuesday, April 19th, 2022. Our next interim board meeting will be Tuesday, May 3rd, 2022. And we have some upcoming committee meeting dates as well. Finance Committee meeting is this Thursday morning, April 7th at 8 a.m. A Property Committee meeting is upcoming Wednesday, April 20th, 2022 at 8 a.m. And the Academic Affairs Committee will meet on Monday, April 25th at 5 p.m. All details, including information on how to sign up and attend those meetings for anyone in the public, is on the district website. So before I adjourn, just wanted to open it up to any board members for any comments on the topics of this evening or anything that's on your mind.
I'd like to say something. That's good. Jumping in, and I hope somebody else says something afterward, because this might be kind of a downer, so please, somebody say something funny. I want to piggyback this comment on what we discussed tonight in terms of policy 253, and on piggyback on some of the members from the public. The House Education Committee, he said with some inflection last week, passed bill number 972. And I'm grateful that this is not going to become law this year, or hopefully ever. What it does is prohibit transgender students, trans girls and women only, from participating in sports in any public school in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania or any public university. This is unspeakably cruel, and I am ashamed to live in a state, frankly, that would do this to children, because all this is going to do is hurt children. I'm also gratified to be part of a school board and to live in a school district, and to live in part of a school district that was the first in the Commonwealth to establish a protection policy for transgender students. Putting aside, though, how incredibly cruel this is and that it targets children, which, anyway, it's almost certainly unconstitutional because it only applies to trans girls and women. And apparently somebody in Erie just got really upset about what happened at Penn Swimming. It's also costly because what this bill does is establish a cause of action, a legal cause of action, right? So a student can sue the school district and the school board and fellow students when that student is cut from a team, if the thinking is that a trans student took that place, right? This is just, again, unimaginably cruel. It's also counterfactual, because for all the upset about what happened in Penn Swimming, she lost. She lost a lot of her events. So it's not even factual. It just is horrific on so many levels. That said, I don't want to make a long meeting even longer. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to vent and rant a little bit. Please, members of the public, think twice before doing this. We need not to target children, but to accommodate them, make room. This doesn't get in, accommodating trans students doesn't get in between them and their parents. It creates a safe space for them if their space at home is not as safe as we'd like it to be. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Newton. Good. Any other comments? Please.
I actually wanted to make a comment along the lines of the policy also. 82% of trans individuals have considered suicide. 42% of LGBT youth have seriously considered suicide, and more than half of those being non-binary. 40% of trans individuals attempt suicide. The reasons for this are contributory stress from direct aggression, abuse, microaggressions, family rejection and neglect, and internalized stigma. What is notable about the research is that trans youth who've received acknowledgement, respect, and affirmation of their identity show significantly lower rates of suicide attempt and ideation. That includes recognition of pronouns, recognition of name changes, and I want to make note that our policy does allow for that affirmation and respect to be given to our students. As a mental health professional, I also know that there's no intent to be an arbiter of what should happen between a child and a parent. But in school, school should be a safe place for our students, regardless of their identity or identification. And that's what the policy attempts to support. There's no effort to prevent a parent from knowing information when it's appropriate to have that information, and in a way that helps to preserve the parent and child relationship. And that's what our counselors do. That's what our mental health professionals do in school. Their goal is to be the safe person for that child to come to be able to disclose and share who they are and share aspects of their identity that they might be afraid to do outside of the school. And it's the role of our counselors and our mental health professionals to work with that student to understand what's preventing them from sharing information, if that indeed is happening from their families, and how the person can be of support to that child in building a bridge and a relationship with their parent so that they are accepted and loved and welcomed for who they are. So I encourage those who read this policy to also seek out information about how this is being implemented in our schools and not read it as a prevention, to a mode of preventing a relationship between a parent and a child, but one to protect and preserve and promote a relationship between a child. Thank you.
Dr. Artuski. Any other comments? All right, Dr. Yannicone, I want to give you the opportunity to present the meeting with any thoughts.
I was going to say a few things, but Dr. Taratowski.
Very good. With that, what an incredible show of awesomeness for our winter sports athletes today. Really appreciate all those students being here as well. And thank you guys for investing your time and energy. We'll see you in a couple weeks. Have a great spring break.